All right, sorry for the delay. I'm going to start with the introduction. So my name is Samuas, and I'm going to present to you my self-reflection. So for my self-reflection presentation, I want to share my journey through this TikTok architecture project. I'll discuss my specific contribution, the key learnings I gained, and the challenges I faced along the way. This project really pushed me to think differently about software architecture and gave me practical experience on designing systems for real-world applications. So I'm gonna show you my core contributions. So I have two major core contributions is that the variability guide for TikTok application and the view mapping creation. So I focus on two critical areas, UI feature variability and data access layer flexibility. For the UI, I designed a model system where the features like stories, shopping, or live streaming can be added independently. Each model communication only through the business logic layer, ensuring clean separation of concerns. So for the data access layer, I created a framework where new models like gift transaction access can be integrated without disrupting existing functionality. So I had to balance flexibility with system stability. This was really challenging because I really had to choose the two and to find the balance between the two. So my second major contribution was creating the mapping between the architectural views. So this involved translating our layer model view into the service-oriented runtime view. Sorry, I had to think from multiple stakeholder perspectives. How would a developer understand this versus how would a business analyst or system administrator would see it? The mapping work required a deep understanding of both views and careful consideration how logical design decisions translate into actual runtime behavior. So now we go to the next slide. My key learning experience from this project. So one is that this project taught me several valuable lessons to go beyond than just technical knowledge. First, I learned that architecture is fundamentally about communication also. The Variability Guide isn't just a technical document, it's a communication tool that helps teams understand what's possible and what's safe to change. Writing it forced me to think about different audience and how to make complex technical concepts accessible. Second, I discovered the importance of thinking in systems. Not just components. When designing the Variability Guide, I couldn't just focus on individual features. I had to consider how change ripples through the entire system. This system thinking approach completely changed how I approach software design. Third, working on view mapping taught me that the same system can be understood in completely different ways depending on your role and perspective. A database administrator cares about different aspects than a mobile app developer, but both views are equally valid and important. I also learned about the business side of architecture. Every technical decision I had made had business implication. When I designed for UI modularity, I was actually enabling TikTok to complete more effectively by deploying features faster. This connection between technical architecture and business strategy was eye-opening. Finally, I gained practical experience with industry standard architecture patterns like layer architecture and service-oriented architecture. Understanding when and why to use these patterns is something you can't learn just from textbooks. You gotta learn from doing it. Now, the challenges faced and overcome. So this project presented several significant challenges that really tested my understanding and problem-solving skills. So the biggest challenge was achieving the right balance between flexibility and complexity. Making system too flexible can actually make it harder to understand and maintain. I struggled initially with the variability guide because I wanted to make everything configurable. I learned that good architecture about making the right things flexible and not making everything flexible. Another major challenge was to understanding the stakeholder perspective for view mapping. Initially, I was too focused on the technical implementation details. I had to back and really think about what different stakeholders need to know. Business analyst doesn't care about what database connection pooling. They do care about how new features affect user experience though. I also faced the challenge of working with incomplete information, unlike textbook examples. So real world architecture decisions have to be made with uncertainty. I had to make reasonable assumptions about TikTok's actual implementation and justify those assumptions. So technically, ensuring consistency across different views was difficult. I had to make sure that what I described in the model view actually have mapped logically to the component and connector view. Actually map logically to the view. Any inconsistencies would undermine the credibility of the entire architecture. So time management was also a challenge. Architecture documentation is detail intensive work, and it's easy to spend so much time perfecting one section while neglecting the others. I learned to iterate, create a complete first draft, then refine rather than try to perfect each section individually. So that's my mistake. So personal growth and future applications for what this project has taught me is that looking back, this project significantly changed how I think about software development and my career aspirations. Before this project, I thought architecture was mainly about choosing the right technologies. Now I understand it's really about making strategic decisions that enables business success while managing technical complexity. This broader perspective will be valuable regardless of my specific role in the software industry. The experience of writing technical documentation that serves multiple audiences improved my communication skills significantly. I learned to explain complex concepts clearly and to anticipate what different readers needs to know. This skill will be valuable whether I become a developer, architect, or technical manager. The communication is really important. Working on a realistic complex system like TikTok gave me confidence to tackle real-world applications. I no longer feel intimidated by like large distributed systems because I understand the principles and pattern to make them manageable. This project also sparked my interest in solution architecture as a potential career path. I enjoyed the strategic thinking, that the stakeholder communication, and the business technical alignment aspect of the work. So it's a mix of both. Moving forward, I plan to apply these learnings in several ways. I'll continue studying architectural patterns and their real-world applications. Now, I want to get more on-hand experience with the technologies I documented, like microservices and message brokers. And I look for opportunities to contribute to architectural discussions in my future internships or my future jobs, inshallah. Now, conclusions and reflection. To conclude, this TikTok architecture project was transformative for my understanding of software engineering, although I am in computer science. My contribution to the reliability guide and view mapping gave me practical experience with critical architecture concepts. So the learning experience broadened my perspective from coding system design and business alignment. The challenges I faced and overcame built my confidence in taking complex technical problems. Most importantly, this project showed me that good architecture isn't just about technical excellence. It is also about enabling business success, facilitating team collaboration, and creating systems that can evolve with changing requirements. The skills I developed, system thinking, stakeholders communication, strategic decision making, and technical documents will serve well throughout my computer science degree. Sorry. This experience reinforced my passion for creating software that not only works well technically, but also delivers real values to users and businesses. That's the kind of developer or computer scientist I aspire to become. Thank you for your attention. I'll be happy to thank you for attention and thank you, Mr. Bashir. And I'll see you later. Assalamu alaikum.